Hey guys, welcome to another edition of Coffee Talk with Team Callahan. I am Laura Hyatt. I am one of the partners in the ownership here at the team and director of operations. And today our special guest is Russ Strazzella, who is a buyer's agent.
Hey, everybody.
Yeah, welcome, Russ.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. So today we are going to talk all about home buying. But before we jump into that topic, what would you like to share with the people on the internet, as we say, so they can learn a little bit about you and kind of what you do?
All of the people on the internet?
All of them.
So I came to Savannah about 4.5 years ago from Los Angeles, and I've been working with the team here for 3.5 of those years. I started as a buyer specialist, and it's all I've really ever done here, and it's been an amazing job and a great opportunity to help, so many people with that event in their life. Whether it's a first-time buyer, someone moving across the country, or helping a military family, PCS here, or helping someone retire. It's been really quite exceptional.
Yeah, you get to kind of be part of their story for a little bit, which is fun.
Yeah.
That's cool. Well, today, Russ, we are going to chat about kind of home buying in today's market. So talk to me. What's kind of the real estate market in the Savannah area looking like these days for a buyer?
So Savannah, you have Savannah as a market as a whole, and you have certain parts of Savannah which are a little bit different than the rest. But as a whole, Savannah has a low amount of listings or low inventory, as you probably heard before, which is pretty similar to most everywhere in the country. It just means that there are fewer sellers selling and more buyers buying. So we call that a seller's market. Things you might see a lot of times in a seller's market are higher prices than the year before, more competition amongst buyers. It's healthy to be in a seller's market, because that usually means that when you buy something, it will be worth more the following year. So
upward trend.
Yeah, exactly. And then certain pockets of Savannah are either more characteristic, like more drastically sellers markets, and then we have a few buyers markets inside of Savannah. So you think Tybee Island, the Landings, maybe places where some of the homes sell a little slower.
Right. Gotcha. And I mean, with all of that kind of considered, we know that real estate is hyper-local. And sometimes, especially in Savannah, it could be hyper-local down to the street or the block, just depending.
Sure.
Yeah, so it's really important to just kind of understand what's truly happening. But Russ, one of the cool things that we have going on right now is we've also got interest rates that are crazy low.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to impact home buying.
So low interest rates makes it easy to buy.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you are a first-time home buyer and you're getting out of an apartment or, out of your parents' house or whatever the case may be, that means your monthly payment is going to be lower relative to, let's just say, interest rates from 10 years ago. So that helps. Mortgage companies are usually pretty eager and willing to work with qualified buyers. And when you have that low rate, coupled with, a nice long mortgage, like a 30-year mortgage, that really just stabilizes your cost of living. And it makes paying your mortgage rather than somebody else's, much easier. It makes it an easier, easier thing to do.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. And so if I am considering buying a home kind of in the next couple of months or whatever, what should I be prepared for as a buyer in regards to maybe financing, or just kind of generally speaking, what's out there? Are there multiple offers? What's it like?
Wow. Okay. So
Maybe a light question.
Sure. Easy. Super simple. Every good home search starts with a loan search. So before you consider actually buying a home or even going to look at homes, consider what it's going to take to buy a home. Mm-hmm. And you should have a meeting with one or two local lenders that can sit down and kind of create a financial strategy. What are your goals? If you're transitioning from renting to buying, do you want to keep that same monthly payment? Or if you're buying an investment property, what's your desired rate of return? Or if you're stepping up, if you already live in a home, but you're outgrowing it and you want to buy another house, maybe you have to sell in order to buy. No matter what your scenario is, the first thing you should do is meet with the local lender. So that way you can get a clear picture of your finances. Because more often than not, everyone who's ready to buy knows what they want to buy, but they don't necessarily know what it's going to take. So get a clear picture of the money first. Once you've got that, then you can start to create your buying strategy. You've got your finances. Now let's figure out what you want to buy and how you're going to buy it. In a lot of markets, especially here in Savannah, you might face multiple offers, especially on a really new property or something that's really desirable. That's very common. It's not something to be scared of, but the more you have a clear picture of what your strategy is, what you want to accomplish, the more you can anticipate something like that. So if I know that I want to buy, an above average price point home in a really desirable school district, and I want, 2,000 square feet and blah, 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 pool, etc. Probably I'm not the only one that wants that. So anticipate that. You might want to think, okay, my realtor says if I'm going to be competing, with multiple offers, how can I win? What do I have to put in that offer? And then just plan accordingly. It doesn't always mean money. Sometimes it means timing. How quickly can you line up the moving truck? How quickly can you sell your house? If that's the case. But yeah.
So really, lots of options. Yeah. So really, it's be prepared more than anything, right? So first step, secure that financing, truly understand your buying power. And then second step, take that, pair it with what you want in a meeting with your local real estate agent to truly understand, what do I get for my money? And what's that micro market like? And if we are going to be in a multiple offer situation, or potential is there, depending on the inventory and whatnot, then talk about strategy, right? Like that's where your expertise comes in. Like you said, it's more than just price sometimes. Like there's different ways, and that's all about building a custom strategy for each client.
Yeah. Yeah. Especially if you have a lot of moving parts to your move. I keep bringing up selling in order to buy. So if you are a move up buyer and you don't have your full down payment ready to go, you might have to offload that existing mortgage or free up some capital to do that. So what does that look like? Do you have to have your house listed before you go writing offers on a house to buy? Sometimes yes, sometimes no. It depends on where you want to buy. So it's all planning. And also, look, as a buyer, especially in a hot seller's market, it's not uncommon to not get the first house you write an offer on.
So don't be defeated, right?
Yeah, don't worry about it. Where I came from in Los Angeles, it's actually not common to go through 5, 6, 7 misses before you get your first actual contract as a buyer. If you're a seller, you'll get 6, 7, 8 offers in the first week. But, and I don't think Savannah's that.
No, it's not
that drastic. But it for certain properties, it can be quite competitive. And that's where a good plan and knowing what's within reach all comes in and all really helps.
And probably too, just kind of mentally preparing for, this is the market that I'm buying in.
Sure.
And so if you understand that and you go in, then if your first offer isn't accepted, okay, onward, here we go.
Yeah,
kind of mentally prepare yourself for any of that kind of stuff. What else would you tell someone who is considering buying in today's market in the Savannah area? Anything else that they should kind of know or be prepared for, just to help make that process easier or simpler?
So if you are buying in a historic neighborhood, you might need to prepare yourself for some below average conditions of the home. And I don't say below average meaning it'll be poor or falling down, but there are certain characteristics of an older home that you might be challenged by, especially if it's your first time. And you might think the house is going to fall down or burn down or sink or whatever. But then that's where meeting with your agent and going over what you might see before you actually see it and preparing yourself for that
Mhm.
is important. You know, the difference between wood siding and brick, or
Yeah.
on non-grounded versus grounded electrical, etc.
Kind of the
Um,
difference between being the brand new car buyer and the classic car buyer, right? That's just kind of
yeah.
two different mindsets. Same thing. You're either a historic home buyer or I like a new construction,
Yeah.
kind of deal.
And oftentimes I use that same analogy when speaking with clients.
Mhm.
You know, when we do an inspection on a home and we find out that it has knob and tube wiring because it's from 1910. Well, a 1960s Mustang doesn't have airbags. It's not a defect. It just doesn't have airbags, you know? So certain things like that are helpful. Maybe knowing if the home is in a flood zone and getting a little clarity on how much flood insurance you can fit into your budget before you go buying a waterfront property. That also is important. I don't know, if you're buying a condo, you might want to look for or stay away from associations that have short-term rentals. All depends on your strategy or what you're buying the condo
Looking
for.
for. Yeah. So
Yeah,
really, it's the whole like the know before you owe, right? Like, let's find out as
absolutely.
much information before you go sign the dotted line for the mortgage, the contract, all that kind of stuff.
Or really before you get your heart set on it. Oftentimes, you know, I find it useful. Let's use that condo situation, for example. I find it useful before I even schedule a showing for a condo, just to know from a lender, hey, can you write a mortgage on this property? You know,
Right.
I know there's commercial activity on the bottom floor, or I know that more than 50% of it is rented. Can you write a mortgage on it, or are they going to pay twice as much interest as if, you know, they bought something else down the street? And just then, just that conversation can save a lot of heartache and a couple hours.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mm.
So basically speaking, it is absolutely a great time to buy, right? Mortgage rates are low. You just want to mentally be prepared for the market that you're coming into. And that's where your trusted advisors, your real estate agent, hopefully Russ Strazzella, or anyone else in our team, and a great lender. Those are going to be your two best people to have in your corner.
Yeah. Yeah. Cause when you are buying, you're kind of assembling a team. You can't really do it all, you know, as a you know, one person show. You know, you have to have your agent, you have to have your lender, you have to have your insurance person. You're going to need a couple people around you to tell you, you know, look out for this, or be prepared for this, or go for this, or, you know, whatever the case may be. If you try to do it all yourself, plus juggle your own personal life, job, kids, whatever, nah.
Yeah, it's too much.
Yeah.
Too much. Awesome. Well, Russ, thanks for joining us. I know that you wanted to share one little nugget before we sign off today, maybe about a workshop that's coming up.
That is correct. So about a month from now, give or take, depending on when this hits the old interwebs, we're going to have a Homebuyer Workshop. It's going to be all on Zoom like this. It's going to be on September 10th, which is probably a Thursday, right?
Thursday,
Yeah.
6 p.m.
And I'm sure we'll be blasting links to that, you know, all over Facebook and wherever you get your social medias and whatnot. But yeah, it's a home buyer workshop. It usually lasts about an hour. It'll be me and Laura, a local lender, probably Don, who knows, from the team. And we'll just kind of go over a little bit more in detail what we talked about now. The steps to buying a home, who to align yourself to make the process as simple as possible, a little bit of strategy, and a whole lot of Q&A. So I hope you register and hang out, and you can ask me whatever you wanted to know that I didn't tell you right now.
Perfect. Yeah, we'll put a link in the comments to this video so you can register directly just to make it easier. And the whole point of our workshops are just to provide value to you and a place to get your questions.
Oh, it's totally free. So
free. Best part. Best part. Awesome. Well, Russ, thanks for joining me today on Coffee Talk. And just a reminder for all you lovely humans out there on the interwebs, Coffee Talk airs every Thursday at 10 a.m. So be sure to tune back in to see the next episode. All right, guys, have a great day.
Bye, y'all.